as Dane Coles once said, it's probably the greatest challenge and the best arena you can test yourself in the All Blacks. So we're really excited by that, and we'll embrace that and walk towards it.
Jason, good morning, good evening.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good, thanks, Sav.
Mate, can I ask you about the Leon situation last week? First of all, let's get that out of the way. Is this sort of thing unsettling for the team, or do you guys just get on with things?
Yeah, I think we just got on with it. To be fair, look, obviously the conversations were had and decisions were made, and we move on pretty quickly, and you have to be fair. So got a massive amount of respect for Leon as a man and as a coach, as I have Razor. So they've come to that decision, and as far as we're concerned, I guess it's last week's news, and we keep moving forward.
How much extra work and responsibility does it add to other coaches? Maybe not yourself, but other coaches.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. But the boys are across the detail, come up to speed really quick, and we've got done what we needed to earlier in the week, and looking forward to it. So, I think the adjustments have been pretty seamless, to be fair, and
You land in South Africa. Does it become, if it wasn't already, do you become aware of what a big challenge this is going to be?
Yeah, I think that as Dane Coles once said, it's probably the greatest challenge and the best arena you can test yourself in the All Blacks. So we're really excited by that, and we'll embrace that and walk towards it. They're the world champions, and 64,000 sold out roaring Africans. It's actually no better. So can't wait.
Thanks, mate.
Hi, Jason. John Day here from MediWorks Radio. Just what kind of lift do you think you need from your forward pack if you are to compete with South Africa?
Yeah, we'll definitely compete with them. We'll have to. I think that a lot of the big rocks and around your set piece of the scrum and maul becomes very important. Obviously, playing in altitude and how you use the ball is, you've got to be smart around that. But both teams are playing at altitude as well, so we're pretty confident that we've got a game that will suit us and get into the game nice and early and play some good footy in what sounds like it's pretty good conditions.
And have you been happy with your maul defence so far this year? One of your kind of trademarks?
Yeah, I think the boys are growing in that space. We've got some new cattle in there now, I guess, with the experienced boys that we lost, but been really impressed with how the boys are buying into our system and the skill set side of it, and also the care part of it as well. So our line-out boys have done a great job, especially Tupou in the last couple of weeks. Been outstanding. So we're confident. We're looking forward to the game.
Yeah, just finally, I was going to mention Tupou Vaa'i having to become the senior All Blacks lock in recent times. How have you seen his growth over the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, Tupou's done an outstanding job. He's one of the great things I admire about Tupou is the work he does during the week, which basically sets him up to play really well on Saturday. He's a reasonably experienced lock now, and he's learnt a lot, I guess, from Brodie Retallick when he was at the Chiefs, and he sort of set him up, and as did Sam Whitelock when he was in the All Blacks. So it's great to see those younger boys come in and take their opportunity and also play well. I thought he was outstanding in the second test against Argentina. Probably played his best test matches in All Blacks. So the sky's the limit for him, and it's exciting.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Hey, Jason. Mark Hinton here.
Hey, Mark.
You've obviously had a bit of experience playing for the South African team as a coach, I'm talking about, and preparing teams to play them and going out against them twice last year, obviously 2022, 2 games over there. How much, as a coach, did you lean on that experience? What you learned? them as opponents and what's required to beat them?
Yeah, great questions. I think they also taught me a fair lesson as well. That Twickenham test, they dinged us up pretty fiercely, to be fair. So, I think that, as I said at the start, it's the best contest you can judge yourself, especially in the forwards. It's where the contest is really won or lost. But I think that, I think with those experience and also the World Cup final, you can just give the boys a little bit of confidence around what we're doing and making sure that they're really clear and they haven't got too much clutter, because when you're playing in this arena, and it's, as I said, it's honestly the best ever. You can test yourself. You can't be thinking too much about things if you want that physicality. So that's probably what I've learnt, is probably removing a little bit of stuff during the week helps them execute under pressure.
Excellent. And just on having your skipper Scott Barrett back, how's that process been? What's the key to kind of just reintegrating him after a spell out?
Yeah, he's been great. Look, it's great to have him selectable this week. Obviously, it was well documented that he was out for 2 weeks. That was a joke, but he's come in. He's got across. He's working with Tupes in the line out, and he's rehabbed his hand really well. And what I know about Scooter as well is the bigger the contest, usually the better he goes. So I think he'll have a lot of confidence in his game and getting straight into it early.
Thanks, Jase. Go well, mate.
Thanks.
Hey, Jason. Morning, it's Richard Nolder here. Just one more question around Leon. Did you sit down with all the players and the coaches and just say, look, this is the way it's, how things have changed? Did the players have a say in it or anything like saying, well, okay, coaches, can we just get some clarity about now how the roles are going to work and how we go as a group? Can you offer an insight there, please?
Yeah, that was all covered. We connected with the boys before it became knowledge to everyone, let them all know. Ray spoke to the leaders, and then, and the staff, and we just get on with it.
Okay. Going back to Ellis Park, you've got young guys like Sam Derry, and there's probably quite a few who have never been to this, probably what we consider one of the greatest grounds of world rugby, especially in South Africa. It can be very intimidating. Whose job is it to get around him? Is it the senior players or you as the forwards coach to say this is how you can produce your best under intense pressure in that crowd that we all hear so much about?
Yeah, I think we're going to layer that in. Great question. We're going to layer that in sort of towards the end of the week as we get a little bit closer. Sam Kane's been outstanding in the leaders meeting and bringing guys up to speed around that, and he'll deliver some messages as we get closer to the game and just give the boys confidence. Even the bus trip's pretty feral on the way in, to be fair. So we'll probably have to do a little bit of work on that. But look, one of the great things about this environment is we pride ourselves on setting your young guys up to succeed so that they can just go out and embrace it and play. And Sam Derry, obviously he's made the most of his opportunity too. Some younger boys that are all trending up in their game. So as long as they can play free and play with a lot of physicality and a clear mind, it's a simple formula, to be fair.
What are your memories of the bus trip, Jason? I remember seeing it once, and the South African fans when they saw your bus, it was quite spectacular if you were standing on the ground watching it. But what's it like within when you get that sort of reception?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. There's a few hand signals going on and a few empty cans coming towards the window and that sort of thing. But I think, in all honesty, it's probably coming from a good place. It's a hell of a rivalry, isn't it? The Springboks and the All Blacks. So, as much as they want to beat us, and there is a good amount of respect there, I feel, and I know there is from us, and we look forward to that. And I just can't wait for it, to be fair.
And one last one from me, the stock standard question: when you play the Boks with their bomb squad, as a forwards coach, does it get easier now that you know basically what they're going to do? It's sort of, initially it was a bit of a novelty thing, for want of a better word, but now you sort of know what's coming?
I don't think anything ever gets any easier. You can just probably prepare for it. Look, we really, we've got a bit of confidence in our scrum this year of where that's at, and we know that we'll have to go up a few gears this weekend against the Springboks, and I guess it's a little bit similar to the locks. We've got a few younger fellas that are sort of trending up as well, which is exciting, and for them to get a taste of it. Like Tamati played in World Cup final last year, and he might get another opportunity this week. And Fletcher Newell played his first test as tight head prop at Ellis Park. So, there's a bit of experience there in a certain way without having a lot of experience of test caps. They've had experience of probably playing against the Springboks.
Good start. Thanks, Jason.
Hey Jase, hope you're keeping well. Just in terms of the physicality, do you have to say what's required, or is it pretty obvious with the Springboks that's where they build their whole game from?
Yeah, I think against the Springboks, like you've almost got to be desperate before you need to be. You've just got to start with an unbelievable intensity, but on a Monday and Tuesday, you're not really talking about physicality. You're actually talking about just getting clear in your roles and understanding the job that you've got to do within our game plan. But as the week builds on, we've got to bring that edge. And on a Thursday, we have a really intensive training. We put the boys under pressure and do different scenarios and try and rattle them, I guess. And that's got to set them up so they can be ready. But look, they're aware of it, but until, we just had a meeting with the front row boys, until they actually experience what it's like to scrum out 5 from the goal line in front of 60-odd thousand, it's something that they, they'll grow from it when they've experienced it, if that makes sense.
It does seem like the Springboks have added to their game this year. Do you know Tony Brown much? Can you see his influence on the team in terms of, I guess, the evolution of their attacking game?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's been, he's had a what I believe and what we've seen, an instant sort of an impact of how they're playing, and a few shorter line-outs and that sort of thing. So and a little bit of variation. So, yep, I think he's made an impact on them for sure.
Cool. Thanks, Jase.
No worries.
Jason, have the new guys, the guys that haven't been to Africa before, have they already noticed in training or just in general life over there, the altitude? Is that an early factor?
Yeah, another good question. Look, I think that today's just been a real clarity day, like real off pace. Tomorrow they'll feel it, and the mouth dries out and you're sucking it, you know what I mean? And that's a different feeling. But they'll feel it and they'll get through that. But it does come and go a little bit at the altitude, but it's not something that we actually have in the past talked too much about either. You just got to feel it, and you just get through those moments. But definitely the start of the test match is probably when you feel it the most, and that's the same with the trainings.
Jason, Joe Porter here from RNZ. Sorry, I don't have a video on this PC. Your scrum, obviously it's been really, really good, very dominant in recent times. And is it a great test against the Boks? How do you rate their scrum? And I guess how do you go about getting the most out of a dominant scrum and using it to your advantage the best?
Oh, they've got the best scrum in the world, haven't they? To be fair, and like we haven't, probably been tested where we will be tested on Saturday, so we're excited by that, and we believe that we can play some good footy off our scrum and have a crack,
And just when it comes to the breakdown and the way that they approach that part of the game, how do you feel like you've prepared for that? Is it something that you're familiar with? Do you think they'll bring a similar approach to what they did in last year's World Cup final? Do you think they've changed things subtly or obviously? How do you think that'll go down?
They're all big men, and they're all got the ability to turn the ball over in a jackal and at the breakdown. So, our footwork at the line and our carry and clean game will need to be right on.
Tupou, how exciting is this week ahead, this massive challenge against South Africa? How excited are you?
Definitely excited. They're the best in the world, and I guess the only way to be the best is to beat the best. And I guess all of us players and coaching staff are very excited to go out there and play in front of a few fans of ours and probably 60,000 of fans of theirs. So, yeah,
the Argentina series, Patrick was injured, Scott Barrett was injured. What did that mean to you when you had to step up in such a big way?
I guess I had some pretty big shoes to fill, and I felt like I've done that, and I've had a lot of help with Jase and Kerry as well around my mental skills, and obviously my locking partner Sam Derry and Josh Lord helped me out during the week as well, which has been awesome.
How much confidence did that, especially the first half performance against Argentina at Eden Park, give you and the team?
Yeah, I guess we talked about trying to bounce back from that performance in Wellington, and the way that we started in Auckland was probably the best start we've had all year, and it does give you a lot of confidence heading into the back end of the game, and it just gives the boys confidence just to go out there and just let the shackles off and just do their thing, really.
You mentioned mental work before. How do you mentally prepare for playing a team like South Africa, where you know you're going to have to really bar up physically? How do you mentally prepare for this?
I guess I heard what Jase was saying, like it, pretty much just trying to front load the week of all the information that we have, and just continue to back my abilities and back my strengths to be able to go out there and match that physicality, and being able to do that for 80 minutes.
Thanks, mate.
Tupou, Leon Mac here, hope you're keeping well. Can you just talk us through what your previous experiences of playing the Springboks teach you about what to expect this weekend?
Yeah, we know that they've got a real good supporting system here at home, and you obviously know that they're real physical here as well. And from my experience being here, is that they'll never stop, they'll never go away. And I know that they've got a strong set piece, which is something that we're really focusing on this week.
Do you have any memories, as a kid about watching the All Blacks in South Africa? I'm not sure if you got up in the morning or those sorts of things.
Yeah, for sure. I just remember waking up early in the morning, pretty much just trying to wake up all the house and get a couple Milo in, and a few biscuits here and there. Just remember watching the boys go to work, and probably the one that comes to mind was when Artie scored that winning try at the end to seal the deal. That was probably one of my favourite moments, watching the boys.
Yeah, I guess that sort of memory, does it show you, I guess, how dig you have to deep at altitude and to counter the box, the atmosphere, and everything that they bring?
Yeah, for sure. I guess you really have to dig deeper this week, especially in the altitude. We know it's going to be tough, and I guess we just got to stay in it, really.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
Hey, Jukes, Mark, Vincent, just a couple from me. You talk about the Box being the best in the world, and I guess having to beat the best. That's a tag normally that sits with the All Blacks. I mean, just how motivated are you guys to kind of tip over the Giants, as it were, to beat this team that's kind of taking the All Blacks spot at the top of the mountain?
Yeah, I guess it's something that the past players have, set the bar high, and I guess it's something for us younger players coming through that we're trying to chase that, and I guess this week's a good opportunity for us to really front up and do our job. So, yeah.
And just on that physicality aspect, that clearly it's something they pride themselves on. But just speak to the fact that I guess it's also something you guys pride yourselves on, being physical and being dominant in those exchanges. So I guess in a way, do you look to kind of beat fire with fire in terms of that physical exchange?
Yeah, I guess it's a bit of that, and then obviously trying to win moments. I guess the team that wins the most moments of the game tends to come out of the results, and that's something that we're really chasing.
Thanks, mate.
Hey Tupou, John Day here from MediaWorks Radio up in Auckland. Just how important is having Sam Cane kind of back in the squad, especially ahead of a big test match like this when he's been in the trenches so many times?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's good to have his leadership and his experience. It's also awesome to have Scott available this week as well. They're the most experienced players and one of the most experienced players. But yeah, I've been hearing Sam's voice a lot this week, and it really uplifts us in terms of energy and belief. It's something that you really want to hear from a senior person, and especially as a young fella as well. So yeah.
And a guy who loved test matches like this was Brodie Retallick. Loved getting into the fire. Eben Etzebeth was a good opponent of his. Just what kind of words of wisdom are kind of ringing in your head from Brodie playing alongside him for so long, heading into a test match like this?
Brodie, he doesn't really talk much, but he tends to lead with his actions, and that's something that I really want to do if I get selected this weekend. And yeah.
Yeah, and just finally, do you kind of shy away from the niggle? Like if even Etzebeth comes after you at a ruck, is that something you shy away from?
Oh, to be fair, like it's, I definitely stand my ground, which any player that plays rugby will do, and I guess both players just want the best for their team, and yeah, I guess we just have to see really.